Hi all, my name is Erin Bennett and I'm a studio art minor. In the past year, I've taken both lithography and introductory printmaking with Lorena, so I'd like to give her a quick shout out for being supportive with my themes and pushing me to make better and better art. I'm very inspired by Baroque imagery and Art Nouveau artists, particularly Alphonse Mucha. The 3 images I submitted are all prints. In my work, I focus on self-portraits to elevate and empower fat women. The lithograph on the left is not a self-portrait, but it was a precursor to my current series, which 2 examples of which can be seen on the right. The path to really loving myself and my body has been very complicated, so the nudity is about being honest and not hiding yourself and your body. It's also meant to convey perpetuity, as I choose to avoid clothing or accessories, so these images can't be attributed to a specific time in history. Overall, my message is that fat women have always been gorgeous and strong and will continue to be forever. Thank you very much, and I hope that you enjoy these pieces.
Hello everyone, I'm Ivory, and this is my self-portrait. So as you can see, my right hand was holding the brushes to paint, and I was looking at the mirror. So this painting spent me about 10 hours. And actually, if I have more time, so I will try to depict more and elaborate more about the background, since it looks kind of a little bit empty, but in total, I'm satisfied about this painting.
Hi, this is Drew. Today I'm going to introduce my self-portrait that I painted in April 2020 during the period of mandatory quarantine. I did it in front of a mirror to achieve more direct and personal approach. My facial expression in the painting is depressed and really sad without any reference to a smile. This reflects my complex psychological feelings in this particular period, since my home is 1,000 miles away. Moreover, I want to highlight the effects of staying at home because I believe that people from all around the world are all suffering and fighting with this horrible disease. Features are the part that I spend most time working on. The slightest deviation of lines on my face will make the painting look pretty strange.
My name is Catherine Meyer, and my work focuses on the complex relationship we have with mental health. Though my work encompasses many mediums, my primary is sculpture with an emphasis on materiality. Much of the metal is constructed via forging and welding, and intentionally rusted and sealed. I leave the hardwood displayed with a simple coat of oil. In addition to the materiality, I also like my work to create an inversion of expectations through making an unyielding material like metal look soft and fluid. My subjects typically consist of abstractions based on the fictional worlds that we use as escapism-style coping mechanisms. The fragmentation illustrates how the mind twists positive coping mechanisms into obsessive negative habits. I number my works in lieu of standard titles so as to allow the viewer to impose their own adversaries into the silhouette, though I sometimes include short titles to allow the viewer easier access into my work. I hope you enjoy these works, some of which will be displayed via the senior show. Please contact me if you have any questions.
Hi everyone, my name is Marlena Urban. This is my painting called Snow Moon. It's 35 by 38 inches, oil on stretched canvas. I used a series of palette knives and brushes for this painting. If you're wondering why it's called Snow Moon, it's because it's a scene from a photo I took on my phone during the 2020 full snow moon in the parking lot of a restaurant called the Country House in Stony Brook. You may know it. It has a dark tale of a little girl during the Civil War who was murdered there, and now she haunts the place. But I didn't really want to capture that in this painting. I was more interested of capturing the light and colors of this scene. Kind of an impressionistic route I was going for. Yeah, so that's basically it. I hope you have a nice day. All right, bye.
The solar print series explores the different processes involved in the making of a solar print. I found exposing an image to be a very interesting part of solar printing, and so I set out to create a composition in which the image shows the process of testing the plate. The figure appears to fade in and out, conveying the adjusting and readjusting not only of exposure time, but of vision and perspective.
Hello, my name is Alexa Jade Frankellis, and I'm greatly inspired by the modern day movement that's called the Death Positive movement. This movement wishes to deconstruct the taboos surrounding discussions about death and dying and grieving and normalize it, since it's something that's going to happen to everyone. And I portray this through my rendition of the 19th century practice of spirit photography. Spirit photography was brought upon by Victorian mourning customs and the religion that was heavily inspired by these grief practices called spiritualism. In my work, I do this by using analog processes to recreate these double exposure images and capture pictures of statues within Victorian era cemeteries and then layer them within the cemetery setting itself, since Victorians had viewed the cemetery as a place of refuge and tranquility versus our modern day associations of cemeteries being morbid and macabre and sadness and grief. So with that, I would just like to say thank you and congratulations to everyone.
The past 3 years at Stony Brook, I've spent time figuring out my own style and developing a body of work that reflects it. The majority of my work has been in ceramics, where I've focused heavily on the slab technique, mold making, and more recently in the development and customization of glaze finishes. My piece titled Collide is an example of all three of these elements. The round geometric shapes at the bottom are cast pieces, while all of the other shapes were built and assembled individually. The glaze is a customized recipe that required more than 50 textiles to perfect and is intended to reflect the flow of water as it breaks over the sharp edges of the shapes in direct contrast to the streamlined shape of the orca.
Hi, my name is Allain. I'm a senior student with a art minor. This is one of my pieces I made. The title of my piece is The Chipmunk Couple. I made it by hand with clay. I use acrylic paint, as you can see. When I was making this piece, I was inspired by my family as representing my mom and dad, and it shows how caring my mom is always towards my family, towards my dad. And yeah, I hope you guys like my piece. Thank you so much.
This piece is called Date with Babe. It's oil on canvas. This piece, together with Untitled One, is based on my idea of dream and fantasy. There is an uneven frame to bring in the audience into the dream space where they're having dinner with this beautiful man. Hence there's two cups, one for him and one for the audience. I would prefer if the audience recognize the person, but for the sake of explaining this piece, I will reveal who he is. He's V from BTS, and it's all a fan's dream to have dinner with their idol. I placed a little bit of myself in the painting. I'm born in January, and the January bird flower is carnation, hence the carnation in the painting. I would love for the audience to interact and have fun experience with this piece. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Cece. This is my painting 15th Avenue. It's acrylic painted on scrap wood. I wanted to use recycled material to paint on, so my friend had given me an old wooden door, and we had it cut in half and I painted right on it. So where you see the hole on the left side of the painting, it's actually the place where the door handle would be. The image is based off of one of our neighbors on the street I grew up on. In the city that I lived in the Philippines, there'd be like makeshift chicken coops and chicken cages on the street, usually with roosters in them. And the roosters like crowing would wake you up every morning. It would wake me up every morning. And I chose to paint a chicken because I just like chickens, and I had read that apparently they can learn to crow like roosters do anyway. So it works out. And that's 15th Avenue.
Blue 2 is a piece comprised of 4 lithographic prints on Japanese Unyu paper. The piece was drawn on stone with 2 parts in mind. The first part is a spin-off on the print Blue, a colored lithographic piece that was dedicated as a farewell to my undergraduate career. I chopped up one of the bad printing proofs of Blue and used it as reference to redraw a distorted version of the image to use on Blue 2. The second challenge was figuring out how to make the print have a repeating image, so that when the prints are put side by side, they connect to one another and create something bigger. In Blue 2, another string of hands is revealed when the 4 prints are put together. The idea was that one image by itself would look confusing and incomplete, but put the prints together and they could reveal something that wasn't initially there.